Do you want to make a lot more money inside of your credit coaching business? Well, I'll show you how focusing on funding will help you scale a lot easier and faster to 50,000 a month. So we'll break down the difference in a credit offer and a funding offer for the numbers, running the business, and how to make that transition. So when it comes to the reason why you launched your credit coaching offer, I'm sure is part of it was for the location freedom. Now you can run a business from your computer anywhere in the world. You might have wanted the time freedom as well because now you might have transitioned from a job to becoming your own business owner. You also probably wanted to make a lot of money. So determining how much money you want to make is also very important. Where do you want to live? What kind of house do you have? What kind of cars do you drive? I think that's something that's really important for all of us to determine is what is our dream lifestyle? How much does that cost? And what does that take to basically build there? But a lot of people I speak to have the round number of 50K goal. Okay, 50K a month might be your goal right now. That might be something that you'd be pretty excited about. It's like over and higher than a doctor's salary. So if you get to that number, that might be pretty exciting for you. So what does it take to make 50,000 a month? Well, let's say that, for example, if we're focusing on credit repair, right? We just started working with a client here that transitioned from credit to funding, and she was selling a credit repair package of $597, and she just got 7 clients last month. So let's average out 600 times 7. That's about $4,200, right? Getting 7 new clients is actually pretty good, right? Because it takes onboarding, it takes now managing those clients. So 7 clients a month could be a pretty good business, but we just made $4,200, which is not even 10% of our 50K a month goal. I do speak to some people as well that might have a more slightly premium version of credit repair. So this might be, let's say, $1,500 on the higher end, right? So $1,500, in some cases you might be charging more. My own premium credit repair mentorship is actually $2,500. So it's a little bit on the higher end, but let's assume that you're somewhere kind of in the middle and maybe even on the higher end, right? So let's say $1,500. So if our goal is 50K and we charge 1.5K, well, what is it going to take to now hit our income goal? Well, it's going to take 33 new clients, right? We have to do 33 onboarding, 33 credit reports, 33 disputes, letters, follow-ups, right? That's a pretty complex business to hit that 50K a month goal, right? Because what is it going to take now when it comes to the actual operations of credit repair now? For credit repair, at this point, for 33 clients, we're going to need a big team. We're going to need big expenses. We're going to have big complexity. But not only that, because we're selling a low ticket package, there's also certain roles that we wouldn't even be able to hire for. Like, let's say, for example, you want to step out of sales. Well, a sales closer, they ideally want to be making at least $500 per close, right? But if your credit repair solution is either $500 or $1,000, well, you can't just give your closer the entire dollar amount, right? So we actually can't hire a closer, right? And when it comes to client success managers and high-level people inside of your business that can do the entire fulfillment for you, you might be able to hire a couple different VAs at a certain point, right? And you can bring a couple people on. A VA might cost you, let's say, $400 a month, right? And you might be able to hire a couple of those, but you're always going to be involved in that business because these are always just going to be these virtual assistants kind of doing the busy work. And inside of a ideal business, if you have like a client success manager, this role might cost you anywhere between 6 to 10K, right? So if we're selling these low ticket packages, that's going to be very much of a stretch as far as trying to start to delegate out of this fulfillment process. So that's the credit repair process. So now we have big team, big expenses, big complexity. We're somewhat limited on who we can actually hire. And we also tend to work with hard clients, right? People that have bad credit, bad financial profiles. They tend to be very difficult to work with, I'm sure you know. So that's what it takes to run a credit repair. And this is everything it takes to finally make that 50K a month, 33 clients. Again, big team, big expensive, big complexity. Let's compare this now to funding. right? So inside of a funding offer, for trying to hit that 50K goal, you might have heard of some of the standard fees of 10%, right? A lot of people trying to charge that 10% for the funding. So if you're getting your clients some wins, you would charge based on how much you get them approved for. I tend to like to have a standard fee just because this tends to be very complex with checking the approvals and doing all the invoicing and everything. So I like to just set a standard fee, okay, maybe $8,000 in most cases. With the $8,000, we might charge $2K up front, $6K back end, or $4K, right? So let's just say we were focusing on like an $8K offer. This is great because now it might be in some cases a little bit cheaper for your clients. If you're getting 100K of funding, that would equate to 10K. But although you might be missing out on a tiny bit of money here, you're still making $8,000 per client, which is a whole lot better than $600, a whole lot better than $1,500, and you probably have a lot easier clients to work with as well. So I like to have an 8K standard fee, but let's go back now to the 50K a month goal. Okay, so let's say that we're looking to make 50K a month and we're selling 8K package. Well, how many clients does it take to fulfill on this? Well, it's not 30, right? It's not 20. It's not even 10 clients. It takes 6 clients to hit your 50K goal, right? This is actually less than what this client was signing up for every single month. So if she was signing up, instead of 7 clients for credit repair, 7 clients for funding, 7 times 8, that's like 56K per month, right? Just because she's focusing on a different higher ticket offer, right? So instead of having 33 new clients, now we're bringing on about 20% of people. So that's how much money we could be making with funding. But not only that, now instead of having 33 clients, we have 6 clients. What happens now? Well, now we don't need that big of a team. You might just need one CSM, right, to handle this entire volume right here. One CSM, like what I call a credit commando, a high-level person that can actually onboard clients, help them with optimization, do the entire funding process. So a high level. A credit specialist is someone that's more of doing the busy work. A credit commando is someone that's managing the VAs, that's actually fulfilling with the clients. So one CSM, that's all we need to fulfill because we don't have a ton of clients here. We don't have big expenses. We actually have high profits in this case, right? And we have a very easy to scale model, right? Because now we just have 6 clients. We're making the $50,000 a month. We have very high profits. Now we can reinvest into the marketing. We can go very fast, right? But not only that, now we actually can hire a closer. Why? Well, because our program costs $8,000. So once you have enough booked calls, now you can actually step out of sales entirely, right? You can actually afford VAs. You can hire and place a CSM, right? And not only that, we don't have hard clients anymore. We have easy to work with because now we're dealing with business owners, right? We're not working with people that made some mistakes on their financial credit reports and now they're looking to buy a home or buy a car and they're screwed, right? You're working with their last $600 ever, and so they're hounding you for results compared to a business owner that's already running their business. They're focusing on scale. They want access to more capital to hit the next level, but this isn't something that's going to be like basically knocking on your door every single day. Okay, so we have easier clients to work with as well. So that's also why I love focusing on funding because it's a lot more profitable, it's a lot easier to run, it's a lot less complex, right? And now you can make a lot more money a lot faster. So what does it kind of take here to pivot as well from the credit repair offer into the funding offer? Well, what I would say, what I tend to recommend with most of my clients here is when it comes to your credit repair, I just want to affiliate out as fast as possible. So you might be saying, well, Alec, am I not going to be turning away money? Well, in some cases, maybe we are, but what's the cost of that money? Well, the cost is all the time that's pulling away from these high leverage activity. The cost is all the stress of working with these hard clients, right? The cost is the entire complexity it takes with running a 30-person a month business, right? So instead, what I would recommend is just affiliating this out, okay? So you can send them out to some kind of an other provider, maybe make a little bit of money back if you're running some ads just to recoup some of that ad cost. But I want to get out of this credit repair low ticket offer as fast as possible to be able to focus back on my full attention on high ticket offers only. The only case I would say that I would perhaps still do credit repair is a high ticket mentorship solution, something like our 5KO. Okay, so what we do with the 5KO is that I have a very in-depth course that's got full trainings with a video, with templates, with examples of everything they should be doing. So it's as easy as possible for the client to do it on their own. And all we do basically is just Slack support. One onboarding call, one Slack support. So what I would say for comparing the two, right? So let's say that you're charging maybe even 2K right here. Let's average this up to maybe even like 1K, which a lot of people probably aren't. But if you're doing a credit repair solution, we're making $1,000, but we have to do, the onboarding call. We have to do like all the support. We have to send all the letters. This is like how much time you're spending on this hour, right? Then you have to do all the follow-up as well. You're a difficult client, so now you're stressed out about it, right? And you're having to deal with them and managing them. So one client might be taking up, 5 hours, right? And you just made basically $200 an hour, which, isn't horrible, right? But if we do a high ticket credit repair solution instead, right? Let's do the 2K high ticket. Okay, this is just credit repair. For my 5KO, we basically do one hour onboarding call, and then we do Slack support. Because the premium credit repair solution, we can also fix a credit within 2 to 4 weeks, so it's very, very fast. So most of our Slack support is just basically making sure they're doing things correctly, responding to a couple different messages to check their submissions, and then getting them through the door, right? So now we just did 2 hours right here, 2 hours to make 2K. We just made 2K an hour. Not bad, okay? So that's why I like to focus a lot more on high ticket solutions. And because it's high ticket, now I can afford to hire a closer, so I don't even do the sales. And I can also easily hire some kind of a credit commando that can actually do the entire fulfillment for me, right? So now I'm not even doing this offer at all, right? So that's what I tend to do with credit repair. And then for funding, why funding is so profitable. Now we're charging 8K, right? So for the funding, we might do a 1 hour onboarding call. We might do 1 hour of support throughout the entire optimization process. What we do is that we do the onboarding call. We determine what they need to do with their personal credit report and their business setup. We then give them access to all kinds of different trainings, templates, tools, everything you need to get it done as fast and as smooth as possible. We, of course, do provide support as well as needed, but really we get this done fast, right? Because we have the best trainings possible. And then we do a 1 hour onboarding call to kind of launch their funding, right? And then we probably do 1 hour of support as they go through funding rounds, answering questions and making sure they get the best results possible, right? So 4 hours total, right? Out of the 8K, we just made, again, 2K per hour. Not bad at all. And again, because it is high ticket, we can actually hire a closer that brings these clients on, and we can hire a credit commando that does the entire process for you because it's a higher ticket program. So that's basically the entire breakdown of why I love funding so much. You can make a lot more money with a lot less clients. It's an easier business to run, and you can scale so much faster. And if you are curious about now transitioning into funding and you want our help with building out your entire client pipeline management system, you want our help with building out your team and making sure that you eventually step out of the fulfillment process, you can actually book a call down below and learn more about my Credit Coach Academy program. We walk you through the entire process of building out a very successful funding business front to back, so you have full confidence with getting more clients and also fulfilling for them and getting them amazing results. So if you are curious about that, you can click on the link down below. But otherwise, I hope this video is very helpful for you with understanding my thought process and why I get so excited about people launching these funding offers and starting to scale it, because they can make just so much more money in their business. And if you are currently transitioning into funding and starting to get some wins, please comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. But otherwise, thanks so much for spending some time with me here today, and I'll see you in the next video.